I was leaning against the counter in the kitchen at Ryan and Melissa's place, slowly working my way through a beer and talking with a couple of guys from my job about last weekend's game. It was a low-key Saturday night get-together. Maybe 20 people, nothing fancy. There was plenty of food. The music was decent, and everybody seemed relaxed. My wife, Amanda, was on the other side of the room with her usual little crowd. After her third glass of wine, she started laughing louder than she needed to. That tipsy laugh she gets when she is about to pull one of her brilliant ideas. Every minute or so, she glanced over at me with that look that says she thinks she is being clever. Then she stood up. "Hey, everybody, can I have your attention for a second?" The conversations died down, and Ryan turned the music down. Amanda had this big, bright smile on her face, the kind that would make a stranger feel at ease, but that made me instantly uneasy, because I know her. She raised her glass a little. "I just want to make an announcement," she said. "I wanted you all to know that we are in an open relationship now." The room went silent. I could feel 20 pairs of eyes slide over to me at the same time. I knew exactly what she was trying to do. She wanted me to blush, stammer, maybe argue with her in front of everyone. She had been playing with this idea for months, talking about how dull monogamy was, bringing up couples who explore their options, and pushing that line further every time. I took a slow drink, set my bottle down, and looked straight at her. "As you wish," I said. Her smile twitched for just a moment. That was not the script she had written in her head. Before she could regroup, I turned to Brooke, who was sitting on the couch to my right. Brooke was supposedly Amanda's friend, although after that night, I stopped thinking of her that way. She is tall, self-assured, and has a sharp sense of humor that cuts through nonsense in an instant. She is single, successful, and I had never seen her join in on Amanda's drama. "Brooke," I said, keeping my tone casual, "are you free this Saturday? I would like to take you out to dinner." Brooke did not even blink. She looked up at me with a slow, wicked grin spreading across her face. "I can do everything better than her," she said. The room exploded. Someone dropped a glass. I heard Ryan say, "Oh, damn," under his breath. Melissa just stared with her mouth open. As for Amanda, she completely froze. The smug grin on her face melted into pure shock. In a couple of seconds, she went from proud and satisfied to full-on panic. What are you doing?" She finally managed, her voice cracking. "I am accepting your terms," I answered. "You said we are in an open relationship. So now we are." Brooke stood up, still smiling. "Saturday works great for me," she said. "I know a really good Italian place downtown." "Wait. No, I did not mean," Amanda started, but I cut her off. "You announced it to everybody here," I said. "We have 20 witnesses. You meant it." She looked around the room for support, hoping someone would jump in and save her, but people were suddenly very interested in their drinks. A couple of them were clearly trying not to laugh. "This is not funny," she snapped, her voice climbing higher. "You are absolutely right," I said. "There is nothing funny about it. But it is the situation you created. You set the rules. I am just playing by them." Brooke grabbed her jacket from the back of the couch. "I should probably head out," she said. "Things got interesting pretty fast." She turned to me. "Text me the details for Saturday." "I will," I said. She walked past Amanda without even looking at her and headed for the door. As she left, she called back, "Thanks for the party, Ryan. There is never a dull moment at your place." The door clicked shut. Amanda was still standing there, frozen, her face running through shock, anger, disbelief, and fear like a slideshow. "Can we talk outside?" she asked finally, her voice shaking. "Sure," I said. We walked out to the driveway. As soon as we were out of hearing range, she grabbed my arm. "What the hell was that?" she demanded. "You are actually going to go out with Brooke?" "You just told a room full of people that we have an open marriage," I said. "So yes, I am going to go out with Brooke. That is how open relationships work, right?" "I was joking," she shot back. "It did not sound like a joke," I replied. "It sounded very serious to me." She started pacing, fingers digging into her hair. "You are being ridiculous. You know I did not mean it like that." "Then how did you mean it?" I asked. "Because from where I was standing, you announced to our friends that our marriage is now open. You did not talk to me in private. You did not ask my opinion. You just presented it like it was already settled." I wanted to see how you would react," she said at last. There it was, the truth slipping out. "You wanted to test me," I said. "You wanted to see if I would get embarrassed, beg you to stop, make a scene. Maybe you wanted a reason to do something you have already been thinking about." Her eyes widened. "That is not." "Save it," I cut in. We both know what has been going on. The late nights. The way you keep talking about Jason from your office. The constant comments about how other couples spice things up. You have been building up to this for months. She opened her mouth, then closed it again. No denial came. Here is what is going to happen, I said. I kept my voice steady and looked her straight in the eye. You are the one who wanted an open relationship, I said. All right, we have one now. But that door swings both ways. You do not get to invent the rules and then tear them up the second the game stops favoring you. This is insane, she snapped. No, I answered. What is insane is standing up at a party and announcing something that big without even talking to your husband first. What is insane is expecting me to just sit there, smile, and swallow it. But this is where we are. I turned and walked back toward the house to grab my keys. She kept talking behind me, but it all blurred together. Inside, the whole mood had crashed. People were collecting their coats, mumbling quick goodbyes to Ryan and Melissa, trying to slip out without getting caught in the fallout. As I headed for the front door, Ryan caught my eye. He did not say a word, just gave me a small nod. It might have been respect, it might have been sympathy. Maybe it was both. I drove home by myself. She stayed behind, probably spinning the story to whoever was willing to listen. When I got home, I sat down on the couch in the quiet living room and really thought about everything that led up to this. The truth is, I had felt something building for a long time. Maybe not this exact scene, but something ugly. For the last 6 months, she had been different. Colder, more critical, always pushing the line to see what she could get away with. I had been lazy about it, too comfortable, pretending the signs meant nothing. That stopped tonight. My phone buzzed on the coffee table. It was a message from Brooke. Just so you know, I meant what I said. Saturday sounds great. Also, she had that coming. I have been waiting for someone to call her bluff for years. I could not help but smile. I typed back, Saturday at 7 o'clock. I will pick you up. This was definitely going to be interesting. She came home around midnight. I heard her car in the driveway and the front door open. I was still on the couch, the television on, but I was not really watching anything. We need to talk, she said, dropping her purse on the counter. Go ahead, I replied. She sat across from me, trying to act calm, but she was a mess. Her makeup was smeared, her eyes were red. She had been crying. Good, she said, because what happened tonight was completely out of line. You humiliated me in front of everybody. I actually laughed at that. I embarrassed you? That is rich. I am serious, she insisted. You asked Brooke out right in front of me, right after I made a simple comment. A simple comment. I repeated. You told a room full of people that we are in an open relationship. That is not a comment. That is a declaration. I was tipsy, she said quickly. I was not thinking straight. You had 3 glasses of wine in 2 hours, I said. You were not blackout drunk. You knew exactly what you were saying. She shifted tactics, her voice turning soft. Baby, please. Can we just pretend this never happened? I made a mistake. I am sorry. No, I said. She stared at me. What do you mean, no? I mean we are not sweeping this under the rug, I replied. You do not get to throw a grenade into our marriage and then act like it was nothing because you do not like how it exploded. Her face hardened. So you are really going to go through with this? She asked. You are actually going to take Brooke out? Yes, I said. I am. She is my friend, she shot back. She was your friend? I corrected. That friendship pretty much died the second she said she could do everything better than you. And to be honest, she probably can. That landed. Her eyes flashed with anger. You are being cruel, she said. No, I replied. I am being honest. That is something you clearly have trouble with. She jumped up and started pacing again. This is ridiculous, she said. You cannot just start dating other people because of one stupid thing I said at a party. Watch me, I said. I will tell everyone you are having an affair, she threatened. I picked up the remote, turned the television off, and looked straight at her. Go ahead, I said. Tell them. Tell them about the affair that you gave me permission to have when you announced our open relationship. I am sure that story will go over really well. She realized the trap she had walked into. Her mouth opened, then closed again. Here is what I think really happened, I said, standing up. I think you have been planning something like this for a while. You have been testing me, pushing the limits. Jason from your office. Those late-night messages. Do you really think I have not noticed how often you bring him up? You wanted guilt-free permission to cross the line. That is not, she started. Do not lie to me. I cut in. Not now? I am done with the games. Fine, she shouted. Fine. Yes, Jason and I have gotten close, but nothing happened. I was trying to be honest about my feelings. I was trying to open up communication by saying it at the party. That is your idea of communication? I asked, announcing it in front of everyone like a show. I thought you would understand, she said, tears running again. Other couples do this. They explore. They do not get so uptight about it. Other couples talk first, I answered. They sit down like adults and agree on what they both want. They do not blindside their spouse in front of 20 people. She was crying hard now, but with her it was always hard to tell how much was real and how much was performance. So what now? She asked finally. You are really going to throw away 7 years of marriage over one argument? This is not about one argument, I said. This is about months of you pulling away, tearing me down, and talking like our life together is not good enough for you. This is about you going on and on about how boring we are, how other people have it better, how you deserve more excitement. You have been checking out of this marriage for a long time. Tonight you just made it official. That is not fair, she whispered. Life is not fair, I said. You taught me that tonight. I picked up my phone and headed toward the bedroom, leaving her standing there in the living room, alone with her choices. I stood up from the couch and rubbed my eyes. I am going to bed, I said. If you want to talk more tomorrow, we can. But my answer is not going to change. You set the rules. Now you get to live with them. Where am I supposed to sleep? She asked. In here or in the guest room? Guest room or couch, I said. Your choice. I went into the bedroom and locked the door. It was not because I was afraid of her. I just needed a solid line in the sand, both in the house and in my head. My phone buzzed. A message from Brooke. I am guessing she did not take it well. That is an understatement, I wrote back. Do you want my advice? She replied. Sure. Do not back down. She has been walking all over you for months. Everybody sees it. This is the first time you have stood up for yourself. Keep standing. I stared at that for a long minute. Everybody noticed. Of course they had. I had been so focused on trying to be the good husband, doing whatever it took to keep her happy, that I did not see how obvious it all looked from the outside. Thank you, I typed. I needed to hear that. That is what friends are for, she replied. See you on Saturday. And for what it is worth, I am actually looking forward to it. I caught myself smiling. Me too, I wrote. The next morning she tried a different approach. She got up early, made breakfast, and acted like the previous night had never happened. I ate quietly, told her the food was good, and then left for work. My phone lit up 6 times during the day with her name on the screen. I let every call go to voicemail. When I came home that night, the sweetness was gone. She met me in the hallway, arms crossed. You are being childish, she said. This silent treatment is immature. I am not giving you the silent treatment, I answered. I just have nothing to add to what I already said last night. So that is it, she demanded. You are really going to do this? Yes, I said. Fine, she snapped. Then I am going out on Friday night, since we are in an open relationship now. Have fun, I said. That stopped her. She had been ready for jealousy, for shouting, for some big scene. Instead, I walked past her into the kitchen and started getting dinner ready. You do not even care? She asked, trailing behind me. You are the one who declared we are open, I said while chopping vegetables. I agreed. What you do with your free time is on you now. You are trying to call my bluff, she said. There is no bluff, I replied. You asked for this. You got it. But here is the part you did not think through. It applies to both of us. You do not get total freedom while I sit in a cage. She did not have an answer to that. Friday rolled around. She spent nearly 2 hours doing her hair and makeup, put on a dress I had never seen before, and left around 8 o'clock in the evening. I ordered pizza, watched a movie, and went to bed early. I heard her come home before midnight. There was some muffled crying from the guest room. Part of me felt a pull of sympathy. We had 7 years together, and that is not nothing. But the louder part of me remembered that smug look on her face in Ryan and Melissa's living room when she thought she had everything under control. Saturday morning I got up, went to the gym, and worked out harder than I had in a long time. When I walked back in, she was at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee, looking worn out. How was your night? I asked as I poured myself some coffee. I did not go through with it, she said quietly. I met Jason for drinks. We talked, and I realized I did not really want to do this. Okay, I said. Okay, that is all you are going to say? She asked. What do you want me to say? I asked. That I am proud you did not cheat on me. Do you want a medal? I want you to cancel your date with Brooke, she said. That is not happening, I replied. Why? She shot back. If I did not go through with my night, Why should you go through with yours? I sat down across from her. Because mine is not about Jason or anybody else, I said. This is about respect. You disrespected me in public, tried to humiliate me, and then acted shocked when I did not just swallow it. Me taking Brooke to dinner is not about love or payback. It is about proving to you, and to myself, that I am not going to be treated that way anymore. She stared down into her mug. I messed up, she whispered. Yes, I said. You did. Can we fix this? She asked. I do not know, I answered honestly. Maybe. But canceling tonight is not the answer. That is not how this gets fixed. At 6:30, I took a shower and got dressed. I put on the shirt she always complained about, the one she said was too nice for normal nights. Perfect, I thought. When I came out, she was sitting on the couch with her arms folded tight across her chest. Have a good time, she said, staring at the television instead of me. Thank you, I said. Do not wait up. I walked out, got in my car, and drove to Brooke's place. Whatever happened after that, at least I was finally standing up for myself. That alone felt better than anything had in months. Brooke opened the door wearing a simple black dress, her hair down, light makeup. She looked good without looking like she had tried too hard, which somehow made it even more attractive. Right on time. I like that, she said, grabbing her jacket. Punctuality is one of my few good qualities, I joked. She laughed. I doubt that is true, she said. But we will see. The drive to the restaurant was easy. No tension, no forced small talk. We chatted about work, about how crazy the weather had been lately, about how Ryan's parties always seemed to turn into a story for the wrong reasons. So, she said while we waited for our table, how bad did it get after I left? Pretty bad, I said. She tried everything. Tears, yelling, bargaining, more tears. Let me guess, Brooke said. She claimed she was only joking. First thing she said, I told Brooke, was that she was only joking. Brooke shook her head and let out a short laugh. Of course she did. That is her move. Make a big power play. Then when it blows up, act like it was all just a joke. I have watched her pull that stunt before. Not exactly this, I said, but yeah, she is always testing people. Pushing, poking, seeing how far she can go. I know, Brooke said. She does it with her friends, with her family, at work. Honestly, I am surprised you have put up with it this long. The hostess called my name and walked us to a booth near the back of the restaurant. We sat down, ordered our drinks, and once the menus were out of the way, Brooke leaned forward. Can I be completely honest with you? She asked. Please do, I said. I never really liked her, Brooke said. We met through mutual friends about 5 years ago, and she has always been exhausting. Everything has to be a contest. Everything is about how she looks to other people. It is always about status, attention, image. When she started dating you, I actually felt a little sorry for you. Do not hold back or anything, I said with a small smile. You told me I could be honest, she reminded me, smiling back. But seriously, you always seemed like a good guy stuck with someone who did not see it. And these last few months? The way she talked about you when you were not around? It bothered me. What did she say? I asked. Brooke hesitated. Are you sure you want to hear it? Yes, I said. I already know most of it in my gut. I would rather have it in words. She would complain that you were boring, Brooke said. That you did not want to do anything exciting. That she felt like she had settled. Meanwhile, Jason's name came up nonstop. Jason took his wife here. Jason thinks this. Jason said that. It was pretty obvious where her imagination was living. I took a drink of water and let that sink in. I figured as much, I said finally. Still hits hard hearing someone else confirm it. I get that, Brooke said. But here is the thing. None of that stuff was true. You are not boring. You are steady. That is very different. You have your act together. You are responsible. You treat people decently. That is not boring. That is called being a grown man. She wanted the fantasy version, not the real thing. Our food showed up, and for the next hour we just talked. We covered music, movies, places we wanted to travel, crazy stories about our families, frustrations at work. Brooke was quick, funny, and very straightforward. No hidden digs, no little traps, no games. Just real conversation. So what is your plan? She asked when dessert came. Are you actually going to try to fix this marriage, or are you done? Honestly, I said, I am not sure yet. Part of me feels like 7 years together should count for something. Another part of me knows it is hard to respect someone who treats you like that. That is a fair answer, she said. For what it is worth, I think you already know what you are going to do. You just are not ready to say it out loud yet. And what do you think I am going to do? I asked. Leave, she said, without hesitation. Maybe not today. Maybe not next week. But eventually you will. Because once you get a taste of how you actually deserve to be treated, and tonight is giving you that, it is impossible to go back. She was not wrong. The whole night had felt simple and smooth in a way nothing with Amanda had felt in a long time. What about you? I asked. Are you seeing anybody? No, she said. I have been single for about a year. The last guy could not handle that I make more money than he did. His ego just could not take it. His loss, I said. That is what I keep telling myself, she said with a smile. Honestly, I am fine being single. I would rather be by myself than with some guy who needs me to shrink so he can feel big. We finished up, and I drove her home. When we pulled up in front of her building, she turned toward me. Thank you for tonight, she said. I had a genuinely good time. Me too, I said. Really? Can I give you one more piece of advice? She asked. Friend to friend. Go ahead. Whatever you decide about your marriage, she said, make sure you are deciding for you. Not because you feel guilty. Not because you feel like you owe her something. 7 years is a long time, but it is not a life sentence. You deserve to be happy, and you absolutely deserve to be respected. Thank you, Brooke, I said. She opened the door, then leaned back in for a second. And hey, she added, if you ever want to do this again, no pressure, no expectations, just say so. I am always up for good conversation and good food. I will keep that in mind, I said. I watched her walk into the building, then sat there for a minute, hands on the steering wheel, just thinking. The entire evening had been easy, relaxed, and fun. I could not remember the last time my marriage had felt anything close to that. When I got home around 10 o'clock, Amanda was waiting on the couch. One look at my face, and I saw her expression fall apart. You actually had a good time, she said. It was not a question. Yes, I answered. I did. With Brooke? She asked. Yes, I said. With Brooke. She stood up and wrapped her arms around herself like she was cold. So what now? She asked. Are you just going to keep seeing her? I do not know, I said. Maybe. We are friends. We had dinner. That is all that happened. That is all that happened? She repeated. Do you even hear yourself? You went on a date with my friend. Former friend, I said. I am pretty sure that friendship ended the second she said she could do everything better than you. And honestly, she probably can. She flinched like I had slapped her. That is not fair, she whispered. Fair? I said. You want to talk about fair? There is nothing fair about any of this. But this is where we are, and we are here because of choices you made. You started all of this, I said. You kicked the door open, and now you are mad because I am not playing the part you picked out for me. I did not think you would actually go through with it, she said. And that is exactly the problem, I replied. You thought you could control my reaction. You assumed I would sit there, get upset, maybe beg you to take it back. It never crossed your mind that I might simply agree to your terms and keep walking. She was crying by then, but it did not hit me the way it used to. Are you in love with her? She asked. No, I said. I barely know her. But I like her. I respect her. And she respects me. That is more than I can say about what we have had lately. So that is it. We are finished? She asked. I did not say that, I answered. But we are definitely not fine. Pretending everything is normal will not fix a thing. I walked past her toward the bedroom. I am tired, I said. We can talk more tomorrow if you want. Right now, I just want to sleep in our bed. Yes, our bed. You can keep using the guest room. I closed the door and got ready for bed. My phone buzzed. A message from Brooke. Made it home safe. Thank you again for tonight. You are good company. I smiled and wrote back, you too. Let us do it again sometime. Deal, she replied. And good luck with everything that comes next. You have got this. I put the phone down and lay there in the dark, thinking. I thought about the look on Amanda's face when she saw that I had actually enjoyed myself. I thought about how easy it was to sit across from Brooke and just talk. I thought about 7 years of marriage and the rest of my life on the other side of it. Brooke was right. Deep down, I already knew what I was going to do. I just was not ready to say it out loud yet. But I was getting close. Monday morning started with a text at 6 o'clock. It was from Ryan. Man, Amanda just called Melissa in full meltdown mode. Says Brooke is trying to steal you. Just giving you a heads up. I let out a long breath and replied, thanks for the warning. By the time I got to work, I had 4 missed calls from Amanda and about a dozen text messages. During lunch, I finally scrolled through them. They jumped all over the place. Some were apologies. Some blamed me. Some sounded desperate. The last one read, we need to talk tonight. This is serious. I wrote back, All right. I will be home by 6 o'clock. Work stayed busy enough to keep my hands occupied, but every time my phone lit up, I felt that knot in my chest tighten. I knew the talk we were about to have was not going to be pretty. I walked in the door at 6:15. She was at the dining table with her laptop open and papers spread out all over the place. Her eyes were swollen from crying, but her jaw was tight, like she had made some kind of decision. "Sit down," she said. "What is all this?" I asked. "Our money," she replied. "I have been going through everything. If we are really going to have this open relationship, then we need to set boundaries. Ground rules." I could not help but laugh. "Now you want rules," I said. "After the fact." "I am trying to fix this," she said. "I am trying to make it work." "No," I said. "You are trying to claw back control because things are not going the way you pictured them." She slapped her hand on the table. "Stop acting like you are the only victim here," she yelled. "You are the one who went out with my friend. You are the one rubbing it in my face." "I went to dinner one time," I said, my voice calm, "with someone who treated me with basic respect. Meanwhile, you have been emotionally wrapped up with Jason for months. Do not act like this all started with me." "Nothing happened with Jason," she shot back. "Yet." "Nothing has happened yet," I agreed. "But you wanted it to. That is why you stood up at that party and made your big announcement. You wanted free permission without having to actually ask me for it." She got up and began pacing. "Fine," she said. "You want the truth?" "Yes, Jason and I have chemistry. Yes, I have thought about it. But I did not act on it because I am trying to save our marriage. By announcing to a room full of people that we are in an open relationship." I asked. "That is your idea of saving us?" "I thought if we opened things up, we could explore," she said, "and then come back to each other stronger. Other couples do that." "Other couples talk about it first," I said. "They sit down together and decide. They do not ambush their spouse in front of their entire friend group." She grabbed her phone and started scrolling like crazy. "Look," she said. "I found a therapist who specializes in non-traditional relationships. We can go together. We can talk to someone and figure out how to make this work." "I do not want to make this work," I said. The words came out before I even had time to think them through, but once they were out, I knew they were right. She froze. "What?" she whispered. "I do not want to make this work," I repeated. "Not like this. Not anymore." "So you are just giving up?" she asked. "Just like that." "Just like that," I said. "This did not start this weekend. This has been building for months, maybe years. We have been coasting, pretending everything was fine when we both knew it was not. You made that announcement because some part of you wanted a way out and could not say it directly." "That is not true," she said. "Then why did you do it?" I asked. "Give me one good reason you thought that was a smart move." She opened her mouth and then shut it again. Nothing came out. "That is what I thought," I said quietly. "You wanted permission to look around while keeping me as your backup plan. But you never thought I would actually take you at your word. You expected me to fight for you, to prove how much I still wanted you. That is the oldest trick in the book." "Stop picking me apart like I am some kind of case study," she snapped. I stared at her, stunned, and the only words that came out were, "You call yourself my wife? Really?" Because the way she acted, it sure did not feel like it. "Wives do not pull something like that," I said. "Real partners do not humiliate each other in front of all their friends. People who honestly care about one another do not treat each other like pieces in some strange game you get to control." That hit her. She sank into the chair like all the fire had been pulled right out of her. The anger she had been clinging to folded into pure fear. "So what are you saying?" she asked, her voice suddenly small. "Are you actually thinking about divorce?" "I am saying I need to talk to a lawyer and figure out my options," I told her. "What happens after that? I do not know yet." "You cannot be serious," she whispered. "I am completely serious," I said. "This marriage is not working. It has not been working for a long time. I am done pretending everything is fine." The next morning I called my manager, said I was sick, and drove across town to meet with an attorney. Her name was Mrs. Harper, a calm woman with glasses and a legal pad who let me talk without cutting in. When I finished explaining the whole mess, she asked, "Do you have any children?" "No children," I said. "Joint finances?" she asked. "We have one checking account we both use for bills," I answered. "But our savings have always been separate." "And the home?" she asked. "We rent," I said. "Both our names are on the lease, but it expires in 3 months." She scribbled a few more notes. "That makes things much easier. How long have you two been married?" 7 years, I told her. "And you are sure you want to pursue divorce?" she asked. I only needed 2 seconds to decide. Yes, I said. I am sure. She nodded and spent the next hour going over every detail. What paperwork I needed, what steps came next, what my rights were. It was all straightforward, calm, and oddly comforting. For the first time in months, this did not feel emotional. It felt like a plan. When I left her office, I walked out with a thick folder and a clearer mind than I had in a long time. When I got home, my wife's car was gone. I used the quiet time to start sorting through our things, her belongings, my belongings, what we had bought together. It was depressing how little we truly shared. Around 7 in the evening, she came in carrying takeout bags. I picked up Chinese food, she said softly. Your favorite. Can we please have a normal dinner and talk like adults? Sure, I said. We sat at the table, eating mostly in silence. She kept sneaking glances at me, like she wanted to say something, but could not figure out how. Eventually, she put her fork down. I saw Brooke today, she said. Okay, I replied. I went to her office, she said. I needed to talk to her. I set my own fork down and waited. She told me we are not friends anymore, my wife said, her voice cracking. She said I have been a terrible friend for years. She said she is glad someone finally called me out. And then she told me to leave. What did you expect? I asked. You stood up at a party, announced that we are in an open marriage, and I asked her out in front of everyone. Of course that friendship ended. She said other things. My wife continued, wiping her eyes. She talked about how I treated you, about how everyone sees it. She said I am controlling and manipulative. Tears streamed down her face. Is that really what everyone thinks? Probably, I said honestly. She looked like I had punched her. How can you say that to me? Because it is true, I said. You want everybody to think you are free-spirited and fun, but really, you exhaust people. Everything is a power move with you. Every conversation has strings attached. Everyone is tired of it. I am tired of it. So you have already decided everything, she said. I talked to an attorney today, I told her. Her face went pale. You what? I met with a lawyer, I repeated. The initial paperwork is filed. We are getting a divorce. She bolted up so fast that her chair hit the floor. You cannot just do that. You cannot just make a life-changing decision without talking to me first. You mean the way you announced our marriage was open without talking to me first? I asked. Feels familiar. That is different, she yelled. How is it different? I asked. She opened her mouth, then closed it. She had nothing. I stood and said, I will sleep in the guest room tonight. We can figure out the rest of this later. The lease is up in 3 months anyway. This is insane, she cried. You are throwing away 7 years over one mistake. It was not one mistake, I said. It was 7 years of problems stacked on top of one giant humiliation. The sad part? I am not even angry anymore. I am just done. I went to the guest room and shut the door behind me. My phone lit up almost immediately. It was a text from Brooke. Heard your wife stopped by my office. She seemed unstable. Are you all right? Yeah, I wrote back. I filed for divorce today. It is messy. Need anything? Coffee? Someone to talk to? Witness protection? Despite everything, I laughed. I am okay. Thanks for checking. Anytime. I meant what I told her. You deserve better than how she treated you. I am trying to believe that, I wrote. You will get there. I lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling. 1 week ago, I was sipping a beer at a party. Now, I was in the middle of ending my marriage. But for the first time in years, I felt like I was actually moving forward. Tomorrow would bring more drama, more fights, more headaches. But tonight, I felt strangely at peace. What surprised me most wasn't the divorce paperwork or the arguing. It was how people reacted. Instead of taking sides or avoiding me, almost everyone reached out quietly. One night, my buddy Caleb called me. Man, I have been waiting for you to wake up for at least 2 years, he said. She has been talking down to you in front of everybody for as long as I can remember. We all saw it. A day later, his wife Hannah sent me a long message apologizing for never saying anything. I wanted to tell you so many times how she talked about you when you were not around, she wrote. I just never knew how to bring it up. Even people closer to my wife reached out. Her cousin Amanda called and said she was not shocked at all. She admitted my wife had always been difficult and demanding. One of her coworkers told me that Trevor had actually turned down her advances weeks earlier, which suddenly explained why she had chosen that exact night to announce her open marriage. She had not wanted openness. She had wanted validation because she had been rejected. That realization hit differently. A few days later, Brooke and I met up for coffee, just as friends. How are you holding up? She asked. Better than I expected. I said. Turns out everybody knew how bad things were, except me. You were not blind, she said. You were trying to hold your marriage together. That is not the same thing. She has been telling everyone I abandoned her, I said, that I gave up without trying. Brooke actually snorted. Let her talk. Anyone who was at that party saw what happened. She created this mess. Now she has to deal with it. The divorce moved fast. No kids. Not many shared assets. Short lease. My attorney said she had not seen an easier case in years. My wife made one more attempt to control the situation. She showed up at my new apartment, eyes red, shaking, sobbing, saying she finally understood what she had lost. I can change, she cried. I can be the woman you need. Maybe you can, I said gently, but not for me. That ship sailed the night you tried to use me as a prop. All this because of one stupid mistake, she demanded. No, I said. Because of 7 years' worth of them. The party just shined a light on what I refused to admit. She left without another word. 2 months later, everything was finalized. I kept my car, my savings, and, more importantly, my peace. She kept her things, and we split the furniture down the middle. The day the divorce became official, Brooke texted me. Congratulations on your freedom. Drinks? I replied, absolutely. We met at a place downtown. Not a date, just 2 friends celebrating a new start. So what now? She asked, raising her glass. Now I figure out who I am without someone telling me who I should be. She smiled. That is the best answer you could have given. We tapped our glasses together. To new beginnings, I said. To new beginnings, she echoed. I had no idea what the future held. Maybe something more would grow with Brooke someday. Maybe not. But for the first time in a long time, I was finally in a place where I could make choices for myself. 6 months later, I ran into Caleb at the grocery store. How's life treating you? He asked. Good, I said. Actually good, not the fake kind. You look different, he said. Happier. I am. Turns out not walking on eggshells every day is good for a man's sanity. He laughed. Heard she moved to Colorado. Clean slate, I guess. Good for her, I said. And I meant it. I did not hate her anymore. I just did not think about her. Brooke and I stayed friends. Dinner once a month, a few messages here and there. Simple. Easy. No drama. One night, over pizza, she looked at me seriously. You know we are never going to date, right? Yeah, I said. I know. Good. I just want to make sure we are on the same page. You are a great guy, but I like what we have. No complications. Same here, I said. Besides, you kind of helped blow up my marriage. She raised an eyebrow. Your marriage blew itself up. I just held the lighter. We both laughed because it was true. I started focusing on myself for the first time in years. Got back in shape. Picked up hobbies I had abandoned. Caught up with old friends. Dated casually. Nothing serious. Just figuring out what I actually wanted in a partner. And I realized something important. I wanted someone who respected me. Someone who did not need power games or public stunts to feel important. Someone who saw us as a team, not competitors. 1 year after that disastrous party, Caleb hosted another get-together. Same house. Same crowd. One person missing, and nobody really cared to ask why. I stood in the kitchen, beer in hand, talking with people who actually liked me. Across the room, Brooke was making everyone laugh with some ridiculous story about her job. Life felt simple again. Quiet. Balanced. Exactly what I needed. Driving home that night, I thought back to the moment my ex-wife had made her big announcement, expecting me to crumble, and how I had turned to Brooke and asked her out instead. Best decision I ever made. Not because of Brooke specifically, but because that was the moment I finally chose myself. The party that was supposed to break me ended up setting me free, and I would not change a single thing.